Hey YouTube, gonna start a do-it-yourself project. I'm gonna do something for you. Got a boat. I got a 34-foot Sundancer, and once in a while we have problems with the Sundancers. It's time to update is my problem. I have a depth gauge on board, and it makes a lot of noise when I turn it on, but when I do turn it on, as you can see, the pixels are gone. Let me see right there. I don't know if I can zoom in or not. Sorry about my finger. The wheel's a little bit in the way. It's a pretty sunny day, but anyway, all the pixels are gone off of this. It makes a lot of noise. I can't adjust the depth on here. What it is a depth alarm. We're in the dock right now, and but anyway, excuse the sheet behind me. I put a sheet up here because the sun's shining. It's already blinding the camera a little bit. I don't know how good you can see me at this point. The sun's coming in from this direction, and it's a hot day today too. It's like 93 today, so trying to keep cool. I got a fan blowing in the background. But anyway, this is a Raytheon system depth gauge. It's got a sensor under the boat. It looks like a little star wheel. It gives me my speed, and then it has a transducer, and the transducer gives the information depth and water temperature. But anyway, the crystal is shot in this thing. My boat is a 2000. This is 2021 when I'm shooting this video for you. So it's 21 years old. I mean, it's a hunk of junk at this point right now. And a few years back, I did put in Garmin GPS, which I really like. It's a touchscreen GPS, works really good. Got some quick hot buttons here that I can use. I use it for all my traveling. It gives me my GPS speed, my trip odometers on there, and headings, and I got waypoints and routes programmed into this thing. And so what I want to do is, what I'm proposing to do is I'm going to take the dashboard apart here, just the panel off the dashboard, and I'm going to install a Garmin backbone. That's little T connectors I'll show you in a few minutes. And we're going to connect this together, and I'm going to change the display over to a Garmin updated display. It's a they call it a multi-display. It's a little 4-inch multi-display. And it's going to talk to I'll have the Garmin GPS Chartplotter hooked up to it. So they're going to talk back and forth. And in this project, I'll be putting a transducer in. I'm going to take the old transducer out as my plan. Put a new transducer in that will link everything up together also, and the chart plotter will get more information from the transducer, and the multi-function display I'll have right in front of me with my depth, speed, and water temperature again, probably with some other parameters. So the backbone we're going to put in, we're going to put 3 T connectors back behind the dashboard, and then I'm going to run a cable down, and this is where it gets kind of difficult, but I'm going to find a way to get a cable down from behind the helm hooked up to the backbone and put down the engine compartment, and that way I only have to run one cable. In the future, it's very possible maybe I might have want to add fuel sensors to the motors. There's different sensors and different products I could buy from Garmin or even other manufacturers, and add it to the boat where I could get readouts with the multi-display or the Garmin Chartplotter. I could get more information out of it. So I'm going to make it expandable. And by running the cable down and the T connector and put a T connector into the engine compartment, that would stop me from having to run a cable back up to the helm every time I want to install something new. You never know. Next year, next few years, I may want to install some more gadgets in the engine compartment. But anyway, I'll take you downstairs, and I'll show you what I've done downstairs, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Alright, well, this is my table. You can see a little bit. I don't have a camera person today, so kind of got to use the tripods and try to get the best view as I can for you. Doing this by myself. But this is the unit I bought. This is a GMI 20 I bought from Garmin. This is a multi-function screen here. It's not installed in the boat yet. We're just kind of laying everything out. But this is it. This is going to replace the Ray data one that I have in the middle of the dash. That's a black and white one, and this one is going to be color. So it's going to be pretty sweet looking. I'm laying out the backbone. The backbone consists of these little T's right here. Several manufacturers make these, I guess, and they're pretty compatible with each other from what I've gathered from other YouTube videos. This is my first time doing this, and I'm not an expert at this. I'm kind of learning as I go along, and whatever I learn, I'm going to pass it on to you. But anyway, these kind of connect together, such as so, like I have here. I've already started. This here, I have 3 connectors linked together. They go together, and they only go together one way, which is real handy. At the end of these connectors are these resistors that you put in. This is kind of like the end of the line resistors, called Terminator Resistors. But you always put these at the end. You don't ever leave the end open. So when you're done with the run, and you can keep adding on to these, but when you get done adding on both ends, you put these Terminator Resistors in. And they just find the notch here, and then you can screw them in. What I have planned to do, and it's good to lay this out, trust me, because I've had a wrong part here and didn't realize it until I started laying it out. I'll explain that in a minute. But anyway, what I am going to do is I'm going to mount this behind the dashboard, and I'm going to have, like, this cable is going to go for the GPS. This is my power cable, and this is going to hook up here and then hook up to your 12-volt power source that you choose. I have an accessory switch up there, so when I crack the dashboard open, I'm hoping to tap into that, hook this up, so I'll be able to turn this on and off by a switch on the dashboard, the accessory switch. And then I am going to use this cable. This will go to the multi-function display screen, so this will hook up there. What I had planned to do, at first I was going to put all these connections here and put everything underneath the dashboard. Down below the boat, I'm going to put a through-haul transducer in, and I was planning on running this cable all the way up to the dashboard and up to this line. And then I started thinking there's some stuff I might want to add on later on or something, so that wouldn't make sense. And they do have these extension cables. I bought a Garmin Starter Kit, and this extension cable with the starter kit came with it. So I'm going to put this cable on here, right here, and I'm going to run this cable down to the dash. It's going to go through the boat, which is going to be the hardest part of this job, I'm sure. I'm going to put this through the boat, right into the bilge or the engine compartment, whatever you prefer. We'll call it engine compartment, make it easy. And then I'm going to tee off down in the engine room. And I'm going to tee off here, and then I'm going to hook my transducer up to this top lead here. And then I'm going to add the terminating connection downstairs. So there'll be a cable here that's linking it up to the dashboard to the rest of the backbone, and then this cable here is going to go to the transducer, and then we're going to terminate it. And that way, if I decide, like, I want to add maybe some fuel sensors next year to the engines, or some other different sensors, Garmin makes all kinds of different things, I can just take the terminator connection off. I can add another T and then add a terminator connector back, and I can keep expanding. I can do that in the engine room, Or behind the dash, the same thing. Take the Terminator connector off, and I can keep expanding if I need to. For future stuff, I may, on the behind the dashboard, I may upgrade the VHF radio and get that to this cable also eventually in the future, and I do plan on doing that maybe next year. Very important is the power cable. Now what I have gathered, you power up this backbone, and this backbone will power up small devices such as this multi-screen, multi-function gauge. It will power that. It'll power up a GPS antenna, maybe fuel sensors if you add that in. It'll power up the small things. Now your Garmin Chartploter will need a separate power source. Your VHF radios, they need a separate power source. But this will power up the backbone. The transducer, it'll power up the transducer. Slight problem I had, and I gotta wait a day before I can start installing this. And this is why it's good to lay everything out, make sure you got all the right parts before you start tearing into the boat. But anyway, I've managed to order the wrong transducer. And the problem with this transducer, it's supposed to work with the equipment. You're supposed to have an adapter. I didn't have the adapter. I thought the adapter was going to come with it. Called Garmin tech support, and they have told me that this is not the right transducer for the job I want to do. They're going to swap it out. And where I ran into trouble is this end is not compatible to fit this backbone part here. So this won't go together. Doesn't fit. So Garmin is going to express send me another transducer out, and the transducer, like I said, will pick up the water temperature, the speed, and the depth. And that's the information I need for that multi-function screen. So I gotta wait another day. UPS, they're gonna send it out next day, so it should be a couple of days. I should have it pretty quick, and then I get on it. I also have a friend of mine that I've asked a favor where I can hoist the boat out for a couple hours, finish the installation with the transducer. You don't want to pull your transducer through hull fitting out of the boat while it's in the water, of course. You have to lift it out of the water. To get a hoist and a lift out at a marina, it can get kind of pricey depending on the marina, but my local marina here, they're going to want $200 or $300. And all I needed out of the water is probably for about an hour. I plan on using the old hole with the previous transducer if everything goes well. If it doesn't look good, I'm gonna have to put another hole in the boat, and you know, and just go alongside that one instead of using that same hole. But I'm hoping to repurpose the old hole where the old transducer is. I think it'll work. Pull the transducer out. We'll get into this a little later, but I picked up a fresh tube of 5200. It's from 3M. It's a marine adhesive, fast cure. This stuff is so good it cures underwater, you know. So we'll take the old transducer out. We'll kick the hole up with this, and then put the new transducer in there, and I'll seal the bottom of the boat. Very important to put some sealer on the boat. Why is that? If you get some moisture in between the laminate of the fiberglass, it will eat the bottom of your boat up. So you want to make sure it's sealed up. I'm going to get on that. But anyway, it's, like I said, it's about 93, 94 degrees outside right now. It's hot. I'm got everything all laid out. I'm going to come back to the boat in the morning and get the cameras all charged up, and I'll be taping some of this. And we'll see you in the morning, and I'll start pulling wires through.